Interest rates have been so hot that it has affected my REIT portfolio. Has it impacted yours? In fact, during this time, you will hear this buzzword, aggregate borrowing limit, very frequently, and it becomes louder and louder when the interest rate climb. Now, if you ask me, what else can the REIT do when it's near that limit? I suppose you hear this very common answer. They need to sell away the buildings. Did you receive that same answer too? Let me know in the comments. However, wouldn't selling their buildings away mean that we as unit holders receive less dividends? How concerned you and I should be regarding this borrowing limit? If that's what you want to know, hit the like button. We will address these three questions using Suntec REIT as a case study. Suntec REIT aggregate borrowing limit is at 42.7. How does Suntec REIT get this number or get this percentage of 42.7? And how does it inch nearer and nearer to its borrowing limits? And more importantly, what happens if Suntec REIT hit 45%? This 42.7% refers to this formula: total borrowings over total deposited property value. It's kind of different from the usual ratio that you know, debt over equity ratio. It is different, so please take note. So for Suntec REIT to inch nearer to the limit, two things happen because of the formula. Either one, it borrow more. Two, the deposited property value decreases. What happens if Suntec REIT hits 45%? So that's where we'll visit this a bit lengthy document called the Code on Collective Investment Scheme, which I'll link in the video description below. So this document is 100 pages, but we'll cut short and we'll head straight to this Appendix 6, Property Funds Section 9, where it talks about, right now, the aggregate leverage limit, where after reading, I feel that these 3 points are very important. Point 9.2, point 9.4, and guidance 3. There's a reason actually why guidance 3 is the last, so make sure you stay to the end. For point 9.2, after 1st January 2022, the aggregate leverage limit may exceed 45% of the deposited property value up to 50%, but there's a condition. If the REIT has a interest coverage ratio of 2.5. So that's for point 9.2. It can exceed 45% up to 50% if it has an interest coverage ratio of 2.5%. So that's the key. For point 9.4, this is the part where it starts to get a bit more interesting. The aggregate leverage limit is not considered to be breached if due to circumstances beyond the control of the manager, when the following occurs. 1. Depreciation in the asset value of the property fund, or 2. Any redemption or units of payment made from the property fund. And one last point is, if the aggregate leverage limit is exceeded as a result of both A and B above, the manager should not incur additional borrowings or enter into further deferred payment arrangements. Hey, if I hit 45% but it's due to conditions that's not within my control, I should not take on any more borrowing. And that's where me as a REIT investor, I'll be thinking, wouldn't that cap the growth of my REIT? If I can buy a new building, it increases the amount of revenue I get, and that should probably also increase the amount of dividends that I receive. Guidance 3 is very critical. The lender can set a covenant in the loan agreement with the REIT. When there is a breach of that covenant, it will cause a default in the loan agreement. Question will be, what is inside that agreement that can break a REIT? Since borrowings are so powerful, watch this next video on the concept of return on borrowings. It will help you gain some confidence in the quality of your REIT manager. See you in that video.